Welcome everyone to the Tuesday Buyers Mastermind, where we come together every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Central Time. And we dive into the topics all around selling real estate, but more specifically working with buyers. This mastermind is open to everyone, regardless of brokerage. So if you're a guest today, welcome to the call. We want these masterminds to be positive. We want them to be valuable, engaging. We want you guys to be able to walk away with some actionable steps that you can take to implement in your business today. So if you want to do me a small favor, please turn your cameras on. We want to see your smiling faces. I put my makeup on for you guys. I'm sure some of you women have too already. Some may not. But once we get going through the session here, about 20 after, we're going to open up your mics. We want to encourage people to ask questions and engage. But the one thing that we ask is, if you do step up on the microphone, don't tell a story for 10 minutes. Just get straight to the point so we can get to as many people as possible. So just to give you guys kind of an overview of how this mastermind is going to go, for the first 15, 20 minutes, we're going to be talking about the one thing, which I'm going to reveal here in just one moment, which I'm so excited about. And then we're going to open it up about 20, 30 minutes after. That's where we're going to open it up to the entire group. We're going to mastermind, talk about challenges, anything that's happening in our businesses that can help us today. And then we're going to get you guys to commit to something at the very end of this call. So we call that the commitment quarter. So my wonderful co-host today is Bridget. Bridget, open up your mic, say hello. Give us a little bit about your background. It's pretty fascinating how long you've been in real estate.
Yeah, it is fascinating. I am the old timer of the group, but that's fine. I don't mind it at all. Been selling real estate since 1990. And so I am 30 plus years into the business. Love it, love it, love it. I am at the stage of my life where I want to give back and help real estate agents, no matter what their location is, where they are in their business. So that's what I do. That's who I am. And if there's anything I can do to help you guys, and I'm able to do it, I will do it. But I'm so excited to co-host with you, Ian. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun. I've been in the trenches for 18 years, and it's been interesting. And about a year ago, I partnered with an expansion team who represents a hedge fund, because my expertise and niche is in investing. So I got to tell you, man, we have been getting our butts handed to us writing offers for this hedge fund. But so the one thing that we're going to dive into today is contract strategy. Now, contract strategy, if you're new, you're thinking, there's not much strategy. But let me tell you something. When you draft a beautiful contract with favorable terms for the sellers and the agents recognize that, I get compliments quite a bit saying, man, the contract was great. Like this, I executed one this past weekend and I forgot to check the third-party financing box. Like there was just the few edits were the things that I missed versus trying to change a term. But I think contract strategy right now is so important. And what I think that agents aren't doing enough of is, I say, pre-qualifying the deal before you write an offer. So let me dive down into what that means. So my process, first of all, is the expectation of your buyer. Now, are they a cash buyer or are they getting financing? You need to have a really good idea how powerful that buyer is, regardless if they are getting financing or if they have cash. And the reason why you need to set that expectation with your buyer is because a lot of times in today's market, it's basically who puts the most money on the table is going to win the deal most of the times. Unless there's some favorable terms that you can offer the seller that would benefit them more than $5,000 or $10,000 more. The way that you draft the contract is so important in today's market, because everyone's looking for, as fast as possible, as much money as possible. But when I say pre-qualify the deal is, you really want to make sure you pre-qualify your buyers. But before you even write an offer, reaching out to the agent, having a conversation with the agent, asking the agent, what is important to your sellers in selling their house? Do they need a lease back? What types of, is there anything that you could help us with that would help us really win this deal? So if you can get an engagement with the agents before you even draft a contract, try to get as much information out of them before you draft an offer, I think it's so important. And then if you are working with the buyer that's getting financing, having your lender, right, your third-party lender that is your partner in the deal. Are they going to make a phone call? Are they going to reach out to the agent? Are they on your team? Are they behind you every step of the way? Or, my preferred lender, when we're touring houses on the weekends with our buyers, like our lender knows what we're doing, and when we need the pre-qual letters, because one property could be 425. I need a pre-qual for 425. I need to write an offer for 385. And literally within minutes, I'm getting those pre-quals. So you guys that are out there, if you're having challenges with your lenders, you really need to find a rock star. And there are rock stars out there. And rock stars are the people that excel. They go over, I would say just they do more than what the average person would do. But drafting contracts in today's market is so important. So pre-qualifying that your buyer, number one, making sure that you know exactly the type of capital they have, if they're getting financing, and if they're prepared to pay over asking. Are they prepared to waive an appraisal? Or are they prepared to pay 10, 15, 20, $30,000 over asking? In some markets, we're seeing 50, 75, 100. I had an agent on my team put up a property for $1 million, and he got an offer, cash offer for 1.2 million. So that was 200,000 over on a property here, which I never thought it should have sold for that much, but it is what it is. It did. Even with myself, with our hedge fund, our hedge fund, they have a proof of funds with over $100 million in the account, and we're still having challenges buying properties, and we're paying asking price 10, 20, 30, 40,000 over asking. And sometimes we're not even getting that deal. So Bridget, what are some of the things that you're seeing that could really help agents draft better contracts, or some terms or some things that you've seen over the years that would really help them, give them an edge to getting contracts accepted?
Well, Ian, I actually really agree with everything that you said. As a personal example, we personally just purchased a home, and I was doing it just the regular way, the old-fashioned way. You make a great offer, giving them what they want, and we weren't getting it. We were at 5, 6, 7 offers, and I was like, okay, I have to go where it is that the sellers are going. And so we were making, got an offer once we had the great terms and a little bit over the sales price. So in this market, you really got to draft a great contract. And we also, one of the things I did was reach out to the listing agent and had a great conversation with her. I built a relationship with her, just like you stated, and that also helped me to seal the deal once it came time for the offers to go in.
I think a lot of agents, especially some of the newer ones, are so shy to reach out to the agent, because the other agent on the other side of the deal is so important. Remember, you guys are co-brokering a deal. Like, your job is to obviously represent your client, but really great agents, when I'm working with one and we can feel it, like, it doesn't matter if a party's getting sideways or somebody's getting upset, like, we're working this deal together. So it always drives me nuts when agents, they have knee-jerk reactions, like, they're basically answering for their client without even taking the information over to them. Really good seasoned agents, they enjoy working with other great agents. There is no doubt about that. This offer that I got accepted this past weekend, the other agents, they're older. Actually, the lady that's selling the house is a realtor. So she's a realtor. And then the gentleman that's representing her, they're both older than me. They got a lot more grade than I do. So, but I called him up. I said, hey, you guys working any offers? I see the property's been on the market for about 6 days. I ran the data. Everything on that market was selling for 102 of listing price, 108, 108%. So like 8% over listing. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh. But obviously the timing of the market, everything is shifted, right? The last 60 days, the last 30 and 60 days, everything has changed because those interest rates are pushing up. So, which is interesting because school just got out. We're heading right into the busiest selling time of the year typically. But I called him up. He's like, no, we actually do not have any offers in hand at the moment. I said, well, what's important to your client? What is she really looking to do? And he goes, you know what? She would love to be able to stay in the house for up to 3 weeks afterwards. I said, okay, great. What else? He's like, well, that's really about it. We want a smooth transaction, and she would just really love to be in the house for 3 weeks after. I said, great. Well, I'll tell you what, I think I might be bringing you an offer later today. He's like, okay, great. I'll be waiting for it. So I communicated with him, built some rapport, found out what was important to the seller, went back to my client, kind of conveyed that information. And he was like, well, what do you think we should offer? Because I've already prepped him, and he's already seen properties go for over asking. He's moving from California, and he was just like, I'm not participating in that when people are bidding 50, 60, 70 over, because he's retired and he's got the money. But he goes, what do you think we should offer? I said, I think we should start at asking price. He goes, I like that. It's like, we're giving them what they're asking, because I tell you, I have an agent. I mean, I literally have a spreadsheet with over 400 properties on it with agents that I'm talking to. I mean, it's just madness working with a hedge fund because we're moving so much volume with them, but it's a little bit different when you're working with the consumer because, they're not used to moving this fast, right? This isn't what they do every day. So he didn't want to participate in trying to bid over a couple months back, but he liked that idea. I said, great. I said, well, when are you planning on moving? He was like, well, whenever I can get possession of the property. It's like, well, I think it's really important that we give them 3 weeks of a lease back. He was like, well, what does that mean? I said, well, we close on the house and then she gets to stay in the house for another 3 weeks after we close on it. And he was like, okay. I said, look, I'm going to draft a contract. And everything in there, I go, before you start asking me a lot of questions, I go, I've been literally writing hundreds of offers over the last 6 months, losing on deals, winning on deals. But if you have a question about a timeline or a term or a dollar amount, I go, just know that I'm trying to position you in this contract to win the deal. Our goal is to win. I don't want to come in second or third and have to go write 6 contracts, right? So we're trying to draft a winning offer the very first time. So I go, look, we're going to pay asking price. We're going to put 1% earnest money. We're going to do a $500 option deposit, option fee. And I explained to him all that. And then I said, all the timelines we're going to shorten. Plus, his lender is one of my preferred lenders, Ian Jones, who I do a lot of business with. And the guy is absolutely amazing. Typically calls me 2 weeks before closing and says, we're ready to close. So he already got the appraisal taken care of. I asked him how he was getting appraisals back so fast, as my lender is bidding more than what other lenders are bidding. I don't know if you guys know that, but whenever lenders are putting an appraisal up on a board, it's almost like a property and a bid amount, meaning how much is the lender willing to pay an appraisal to go do the appraisal? So if there's 3 properties up there and one's 450, 650, and 1,000, which property is the appraiser going to take first? $1,000. So that was a nugget that I learned just recently of how he was getting appraisals back so fast. Now, if it's a VA appraisal, that's a whole nother ballgame because they're very limited. But anyway, we drafted the offer, sent it over. They said everything was great. So we did the inspection. The inspection was awesome. There was just a couple items where the sprinkler system needed some attentions. And I asked John, my client, I said, what do you want to do here? He goes, I'm relocating, I'm moving. He goes, man, I would really love if they could leave that refrigerator. I said, what else? He's like, I would really love if they would leave the washer and dryer. I said, well, what else? He was kind of like, I don't know. I've never thought about it this way. I was like, well, let's just put a list together and just politely ask them. So there's a lot of patio furniture. There was pots, there was grills. There's all kinds of really nice stuff in this house. So I went back to the agent. I just drafted an email. I didn't put it on an amendment. I didn't say, this is what we want and sign it. I just said, hey, everything in the inspection went really great. To forego some of, negotiations, I go, the client would just really like if the seller would leave behind these items, if any at all. And I just literally bullet pointed them all out. And he was like, okay, I'll get with Sharon. So they sent me back an amendment, and they're giving the refrigerator. She is keeping the washer and dryer, all the patio furniture and the pots and pans which is probably well over a couple $1,000s worth of stuff. And it just went so smooth. And we're, clear to close, about to go close this deal. But back to the contract strategy was I drafted an agreement that was very favorable to the seller. The terms were really short. The financing contingency was 12 days, which we already had him approved. I didn't need to put 21 or 15 or something like that. I wasn't really worried about that. So it was just a really smooth contract, which I have hundreds of stories of the other side of it where they're not so smooth. Bridget, have you experienced anything like that? So the contract that you did get accepted on the house that you purchased, what was different about that deal?
Well, one, having that conversation with the, and building a relationship with the agent. And then 2, having the financing, like you said, already in place. That's so important so that it won't be a snag in the situation. And then 3, we allowed the seller to stay for a few weeks, and then then after. So we gave them what it is that they wanted. And as a result, they gave us appliances and things like that. So it's all about building that relationship, as you stated, and negotiating and not being adversarial. Oftentimes agents walk into a deal and they're adversarial from the beginning, and you lose deals that way. But if you walk in trying to build a relationship with the agent, that will set the tone to say, hey, this is going to be a smooth transaction versus, oh my gosh, I don't want to work with her, or oh my gosh, so become known as that agent that actually works with and helps the deal to go through and not being destructive, because you can be by being adversarial from the